We're back, baby. Kaboosh, boosh. Kicking in the door. It's episode 113. It's also the start of season 7. It's Laurel. I'm your history-loving, dope-smoking, fiscally responsible, big sister. Like, do you want feedback, or you just need me to listen?
Goal-oriented. Like,
goal-oriented.
What do you need from me?
Yeah. Do you need me to just listen? Do you need me to go get in a car with a baseball bat and go kick ass? Just kidding. I don't condone violence. Hey, but you know who does? No, just
necessary
kidding. Only when necessary.
And starting a revolution, okay?
Who are you, little sis?
I'm Katie. I'm a little bit obsessed with dinosaurs.
Katie was going on for about 20 minutes about various extinction events in our great long history of Earth, and where certain dinosaurs lived in certain periods, but also like within the continent. And hey, did you know that there's an ocean that ran north to south, like down the middle of North America? Whoa. This is what you get here on High Tales of History. We are a history podcast. We're two sisters. We surprise the other person with a story from history. And we are back for season 7. We hope that you've had a good end of the year and start to the new year. I know a lot of our listeners, like the vast majority of you, are based in the United States. It's been trying times. Gestures around vaguely to the dumpster fire of the world and the nation.
Did you like that meme I sent you? I know Gerard Way told me I need to carry on, but gestures broadly, it's getting kind of hard under these conditions. I was like,
getting kind of hard.
Amen.
Getting a little hard, but hey, we are here to give you a bit of a break from the doom scrolling. Be back in the smoke circle again. So come hang out with us. We're glad you're back. We have missed you.
Self-care.
This is self-care.
This is a self-care circle.
Self-care. This is here for you, for us, for all of us together in our little electronic world. Listen to my voice. Come on a history adventure with us. We had a lot of new subscribers over the break, which is really fun. So welcome.
Interesting.
Hey, if you're new, nice. I'm high as hell, like, hey, jazz hands. We would like to give a particularly warm welcome to our newest members, our best bud members of the Smoke Circle, Jake and Kristen, who hail from the land down under.
Oh.
That's Australia, just in case you guys needed to know that.
Because Katie has a very visceral reaction.
Katie's favorite country, really.
Probably. I think, honestly, no offense, Mongolia, I fucking love you guys, but I think Australia wins. And as Laurel heard, it has been aggressively marketing me to move there, and I'm like, I can't take all of my small army, but thank you.
She's on the Aussie Algo for sure. Like the Aussie Algo.
It's on.
It's on.
It's watching me.
It's on. It's on that phone and it's in her eyes. Yeah. In fact, actually, the day that this gets released, which will be a week from now, because we're a little late. Sorry about that, folks. The day that this comes out and is released is actually Jake's birthday. So happy birthday, Jake!
Happy birthday!
I'm gonna get my drink. Boop, dink. And
it was water.
Fun. They sent me, they sent me this really great email, and I read it to Katie, and they had some cool ideas, for some topics, and left us with this wonderful PS, which I'm going to share with all of you because it's great.
To which my partner thinks, for their benefit, my partner thinks it's funny as fuck and brings it up often. I was like, thanks for that. Never going to live that down, but all right.
So they got a fun little game you can play while you listen along, should you choose to, if you want to be completely off your tits by the end of this episode. P.S. I have come up with a drinking game for your podcast, which involves drinking anytime Lord of the Rings gets referenced. Which right there, you'd be hammered, I feel like, Katie says, that's my aside. Katie says she will die on that hill. Anytime someone swears, which again, you're fucked. See, drink again. How about that? Or this one was my particular favorite. And I did a full-blown hearty har out loud. Anytime Katie refers to herself in the third person. I was going to add more, but I think that would get you wasted enough. Thank you, Jake and Kristen. Thank you both so much.
You know what's so funny is both of us, we're I do that?
Do you do that?
Yeah. And then I was like, fuck. I caught
it.
myself doing it in conversation, and I was like, so
Gosh. Oh, yeah, it was so nice. We love getting mail, guys, so thank you so much for reaching out. And they said that they've like binged the whole show. Like, so I think there's some sort of award for that.
Yeah.
But they found us through History I'd Like to Fuck, which is HILF with Dawn Brody, which is
Fuck
such a
yeah.
nice thing to hear. You're right. Dawn Brody is the coolest woman in the history space. Love her so much. Aside from us. No, I'm just kidding. No,
No, I'm not. Aside from
No.
me, yeah.
I looked over at Kay. I was like, actually, you're pretty cool too, Katie. But very, very
Thanks,
similar
Jan.
sort of personalities, you know. But yeah, she is the coolest. And if you're not listening to her, you really should be, because like she has some really
Like, what are you doing with your
awesome
life?
stuff. Like what? Yeah, what are you doing? Fellow Midwesterner. She's a comedian. She's great, you know. So thank you. Thank you very much for that. So thanks, Jake and Kristen, for becoming best buds of the Smoke Circle.
Appreciate you.
Katie,
Yes.
tell me, girl, what's happening for you today? What's going on? I've got my fake Moscow Mule. I say fake because it's actually sparkling water flavored, like ginger beer or ginger like lime beer with vodka. So it's like it kind of tastes like if someone was drinking a real Moscow Mule and then like just burped in your face. That's what this tastes like. Not the burp, not gross like that, but I mean, in terms of the flavor intensity, you're like, it's a whisper.
It's like regurgitated Moscow Mule. Did you know that honey is regurgitated bee pollen, you guys?
It sure is.
They just keep puking it up. And I will still eat it. That does not deter me.
It's delicious.
At all. Yeah, absolutely.
So it's the most kind of like light flavored, like it's like someone went like that on my face, and that's like the amount of flavor I get from it. But it's okay. And I also have half an edible. I have half of one of your edibles. The strawberry ones.
Strawberry. Yeah.
So how about you? What are you doing? I'm high as hell, guys. Sorry, it's getting worse.
I've got my water. I had tea. Other than that, I have my Bebos. Good old Bebo.
Yeah, good stuff.
Little 5 milli and water.
Milligrams. Okay, nice, good, cool.
And water. Yeah. Sorry to be unexciting, but hydration is important.
No, you should. That's my other drink too.
Yeah, exactly.
I had 3 drinks. I had water, coffee, and my Whisper Mule.
Right? No one ever gets to see Dirtly, so she got to come hang out with us, which is just glorious. So
yeah. Thanks for
but
visiting.
yeah, other than that, what's going on with my life? I mean, you know, just surviving.
Yeah.
As you said, the dumpster fire. Trying to do my best. Black Parade, carry on. Speaking of the Black Parade, I am going to see them in Phoenix in September, so I'm stoked about that. The reason we're going out to Phoenix to see them is because Jimmy Eat World was opening for them, and I'm like,
because it just takes some time, you know.
You're in the middle of the ride, man. Let me tell you. Yeah, Jimmy, dude.
Yeah,
Jimmy,
dude, Jimmy. Hey, you want some more history?
Do I ever? Is that even a question? I'm pretty sure that's why we're all here.
All right, good, because buckle up. We have a piece of adventure history. Maybe you might call it misadventure. Maybe, if you want. Across the outback of Australia.
Oh, get out. I'm in. I will not get out. I will get in.
Yeah, get in. Don't get out. Get into this. So we're going to load up the camels, load up the wagons and the horses. Make sure you pack the oak table and chairs. We need 50 gallons of rum for the camels, of course. And for God's sake, don't forget the Chinese gong. We're going on the Burke and Wills Expedition.
We're on an adventure.
We're on an adventure. Do people drink for that, since that's a Hobbit reference? Or no, is it just Lord of the Rings?
Or
what are the rules?
Whoa, hold on. Hobbit is still a part of the universe. Like,
Of course. But it just said anytime Lord
Bilbo,
of the Rings is mentioned.
yeah, that
Are we
counts.
trying to save some people's lives? Okay.
No, I'm not. Nobody's getting saved from the Tolkien universe. Hobbit references count. Here's the one thing I'm not going to count as a part of that game. If it's a reference to, like, stupid shit that didn't exist in the books. Tariel. I like Tariel. She's not in the book, though. Azog the Defiler and his weirdly symmetrical scars. What the fuck was that? Do we really want to go there? We don't. But, so stupid shit, no. But, like, going on an adventure, that's Bilbo's whole thing. That's so totally drinkable.
Okay,
Drink.
get in there. Drink that water. Get hydrated. Get on this quest.
Dehydrating. Yeah, I'm already there. I have my hat on.
Get in here.
I have.
Is it got the one side that flips up?
Yes, it does.
Yes. Good. That's the best hat. Put your hat on, get your gong. Australia, like America, is a British colonized land populated first by Indigenous peoples, in this case, the Aboriginal Australians and the Torres Strait Islanders. Two distinct Indigenous groups. And even so, the term Aboriginal refers to more than 250 distinct tribes within the island. Right. So Australia, becomes a British colony in 1788. Now, at the start of my historical retelling for you today, we're going to go to 1858. The city of Melbourne was 23 years old. Sorry, guys. And the colony of Victoria, nail clapping, was only 7.
You
so
said
Victoria's
it right,
7.
first of all.
But I feel like I'm doing it like with the kind of put on accent so I can say it sort of correctly. And that feels kind of gross. How do you feel, Melbournians? Melbournians? Melbourne. But see, that's the thing. It's stupid sounding like fake Australia. I can say it.
Well, but you are
Australia,
saying it right.
Are you offended? Would you be more offended if I said it wrong? Tell me.
I would, okay. But I don't know. Melbourne,
right? I would too. I wouldn't like it. Okay. The discovery of gold made Victoria one of the richest places in the British Empire. And the colonists, they're like, look, we want to show the world that we've come a long way from our penal beginnings. We are free immigrants. We are doctors. We are learned and sophisticated. This gold has brought in many kinds of people, right? Like all classes and countries and stuff too. So immigrating in. Yeah.
Just want to point out that only a third of that population was ever a penal colony. The rest of it was not. So I feel like Australia gets a bad rap like that. And I said, well, that's not fair. It was only a third of them. So just so everybody is aware.
Yeah, no, that's because that's the thing. People like to bring that up. And yeah, while that was why it was initially established, other people were coming over. It wasn't just like a criminal dumping ground. It was just a certain
section, was my understanding.
Yeah. Yeah. And that being used in that system actually stopped just about the time that I'm talking about here. Yeah.
Okay.
So,
sure.
So yeah, it's all kinds of people. But again, like you said, it's that reputation, and so Victoria's like, hey, we want to show you guys how learned and cool and rich and sophisticated and fantastic we are. We got some smarts, we've got some wealth, and we're gonna explore more into this big giant land that we've taken over, that we're on, right? So a proposal was made to establish an exploration party to unlock the secrets of the interior. Maybe there's a sea in there. We don't know. There could be a sea right in the middle of this big continent, this big island. There probably is. There's got to be something through here somewhere, right? Let's go check it out. 1857, a year prior to this expedition, the Philosophical Institute of Victoria, which later becomes part of the Royal Society of Victoria, which is what I'm going to call it henceforth. So they put together a 32-man committee. They're like, what's this expedition going to look like? Like, it's going to be of a big scale. We don't have the funds yet to put on this quest, but let's start planning it and see what this looks like. So these guys were scientists, they were doctors, merchants, ministers, professors, even some legislative members that made up this planning committee. And the journey was to cross Australia from the south in Melbourne to the north in the Gulf of Carpentaria, and then back again, because like no one wants to pick their asses up at the north coast. So there and back again. Pause for effect.
Drink.
There we go. That's a distance. I'm going to put up a map for you guys so you can see. Bloop. Katie, if you want to pull out that map at any point I've sent you, you can do that to follow
I'm
along.
on it.
So we're down at Melbourne, which is like the most southern major city in Australia, then and now. And it's going to go up to the Gulf of Carpentaria. 2,000 miles, or about 3,250 kilometers for our international listeners. That's a long way, girl. Across the interior of Australia, girl. And one member was like, what about we use some fucking camels? And they're like, thank you for the suggestion, Dr. Embling. That's a great
Fair
idea, sir.
shout. Yeah.
Yeah.
It's hot. Like Australia's like so fucking hot.
Yeah.
Like
Indeed.
115 in freedom units. And
Yeah.
Celsius, that's like
Nearly 50.
Yeah, nearly 50.
Here's a funny little aside for you all. The one other time, up to this point at least, that camels had been used for exploration within Australia hadn't been that terribly long ago. It was 1846, so a few decades prior. And a few had been imported, since, they're not native to Australia. A few had been imported to be used by John Horrocks, who was the only explorer to be shot and killed by his camel. Let me explain.
Get wrecked.
Right?
Get wrecked. Why does Australia have the best history? Only
So
war
funny.
ever lost was to emus, a giant flightless bird. I fucking love
Emus
this
would be
country.
terrified. Yeah. So
They're not that
this
scary.
poor bastard. Well, I mean, they've got like dinosaur feet. You know what I mean? They've got little cute fuzzy heads,
more
but the rest
scared
of
of
them are
Sure, I get what you're saying. You should be more worried about the cassowary.
cassowary. Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
No. Okay. Now, John, this guy, John, going back a little ways, is the first guy, or the only guy really, to be shot and killed by his camel. So here's how this goes. For his expedition, there were 9 camels imported, and Horrocks was on the last surviving camel, the ill-tempered Harry, whom I personally like to think just survived that entire expedition, being the last surviving one. He lived on like spite and
Yeah.
and just pure orneriness.
Like a cat.
Just, yeah. At Lake Dutton, Horrocks decided to shoot a bird, but whilst screwing the ramrod down into the gun, quote, the camel gave a lurch to one side and caught his pack in the cock of my gun, which discharged the barrel I was unloading, the contents of which first took off the middle fingers of my right hand and entered my left cheek, knocking out a row of teeth from my upper jaw. J.A. Horrocks, last letter, 1846.
Did he die?
He died, but it wasn't the gunshot that killed him. It was the resulting infection. Mm-hmm.
Yeah, always is.
23 days later, he passes away, and the people at the station that he got himself to, they're so pissed that this camel, this camel, it's an accident, right? It's not like the camel, even though he's probably a dick, did it on purpose, right? Obviously. But they shoot Harry, unfortunately, and he was killed, but not before.
The hell?
But not before Harry had bitten an Aboriginal man on the head. So Harry was still like, I'm going to fucking take everyone out around me. And
have you ever seen a camel's canines?
I don't want to do. No, I don't want that.
They're huge.
No.
They're scary.
No, girl, I don't need that. So the expedition committee now, like in this present moment here, as I'm speaking, they're like, fuck yeah, let's see if we can get some more camels. Now, the talk for this expedition, the planning, it starts getting some momentum. Donors are donating. Orders are being placed for 24 camels. Send them with some money to India. Yeah, they're giving some money. It's going to take a little while to get the money and the camels and supplies and stuff like that. So while that's gathering for I think it's about a year or so, let's go meet our players, okay? So 19 men were chosen, and they all had a variety of skills and occupations. Okay, so it's led by Robert O'Hara Burke with George Landells, the man who went to India to retrieve said camels. becoming the second in command. And then William John Wills, who is, you're right, is the other name listed in the expedition, was third in command. So there's our
William
Burke
John Wills.
William Wills.
His parents hated him. Get wrecked.
Willie Wills. Anyway, William Wills. Now, here's some more main players. There are a lot of people, and there are a lot of people that come and go. So I'm going to just give you names for important roles and people that you're going to hear at various times throughout the story. Okay, so don't worry. You don't have to make a running list, and I'll try and keep you on track here. First up, we have Robert O'Hara Burke of Irish Protestant gentry, cavalry officer in the Austrian army, later commander of the Irish Mounted Constabulary.
Austrian or Australian?
Austrian, I know.
Okay, just checking.
Right? Mm-hmm.
Yep.
So this is before he comes to Australia.
Right.
Later commander of the Irish Mounted Constabulary. And then he's like, I'm going to go to Australia. He lands there in 1853 and joins the Victoria Police Force. He was frequently described as being well-liked by the other officers and the soldiers that he commanded. So a lot of words that get associated with is charming, reckless, impulsive, a bit of a man's man, like likable for the most part, right? However, he is just as frequently described as, quote, notorious for getting lost, sometimes even on his way home from the pub.
Okay, well, who hasn't?
Like, this guy, he's like, I get lost on my way home, but I'm going to go lead an expedition across the vast outback of Australia.
To be fair,
okay.
I often make the joke that if we got dumped out in the wilderness, in the Northern Hemisphere specifically, I could navigate us where we needed to go because I'm I'm great at that. But I can't, for the life of me, find my fucking car in the parking lot.
Okay.
So,
okay, to be fair.
Useless there. But you drop me in the wilderness and I'm like, I got you.
Yeah. Excellent.
Yeah, absolutely.
Look at what the sunlight's doing to my face right now. I'm so high. I'm like,
you're looking
I'm glowing,
like Telemundo
right?
dramatic, like,
oh, I like how it goes kind of right across my eyes.
Yeah, like
Sort
really
of Morticia
dramatically.
Adams. Yeah,
Yeah.
people
So
that
we've
aren't
watched
watching
a
are
lot
like,
of
what
early
the fuck is going on
2000s
right now?
movies.
Yeah,
Yeah, but
Yeah.
like Blake and I have watched a lot of early 2000s movies recently, and they do that a lot where it's like the light across the eyes as someone sitting in the back of the darkened theater. And Blake looks at me, he goes, well, I was like, just appreciate the cliche, okay?
just let him have the moment, you know.
Just let him have the moment.
So our poor leader is not really great at navigation, and he's going to be the leader of this. I'm sure it's going to be fine. He has little to no knowledge of exploration, navigation, surveying, no bushcraft, as it's called, you know, being able to go out in the bush and being able to survive and stuff. Also had never even been outside the settled districts of Australia. So he'd never been like beyond town. It's going to be fine, you guys. It's okay, really.
So he's never seen the outback.
Right.
He's so fucked. Okay.
How hard could it be? They're saying, you know, this is the Victorian era.
mean-
There's all that Victorian era hubris and stuff, right?
Yeah, sure. You know, drinking mummy juice. Got it.
Yeah. So as it happens,
What do you know about the Australian outback, Laurel?
absolutely nothing. Well, you know what? And even then, we know it's like this knowledge of this era, like the colonists in this time period, what they knew about Australia, anywhere beyond like the borders of town, is like,
Right.
we know more about the outer limits of our solar system currently, you know, in terms of like comparison of knowledge. People are like, we
Yeah.
know like than they kind of had, well, more really than they had of what was in the interior of this. The white people, at least, right? Let's make that clear. The colonists, you know,
Sure.
the colonists there, I should say.
Absolutely. Not the people who live there. Right. Makes sense.
They're fine.
But like, yeah,
fine.
I mean, they know what to expect, right?
Right,
They
exactly.
have like culture and history behind them. They know the land.
Mhm.
I don't know. I don't have to say this to the Australians, obviously, but to those of you who don't know anything about the Australian outback, good luck. I mean,
Yeah, you
it's
don't
like
yeah.
that's I would hesitate to go on a hike out there without getting a rundown from a local. And I consider myself decently rugged. I've almost killed myself on hikes multiple times, and it was fine. But I came out alive, confronted with a bear one time. I Disneyed my way out of that one. I sang a song. Shit you not, I sang a song and saved all our
No,
lives. You're
actually,
welcome.
honestly, that would work. Yeah. I did, obviously, but I mean,
did.
but it could. Like, that's something you can do. Make you noise. Damn, that's
You
fun.
can't sing your way out of the outback. You
Can't sing your way
cannot
out.
sing your way out of the outback.
That's the musical number that goes along with this. You can't sing your way out the outback. It's like little like 1920s. Yeah. Anyway, speaking of musicals, how about that? Our 39-year-old Irish police officer was hopelessly love struck by 18-year-old actress Julia Matthews. He went to every
I'm
one
sorry.
of her.
How old
Yeah,
is he? 39?
39.
He's literally double her age.
Yes. Yep.
Times 2. Like, if you take it, you do the thing, and don't do Common Core, because that confuses me. But, like, the 8, and you put the 8 down, and then you put... And then you carry the...
With all those steps?
Yeah.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Like, right?
Okay.
Yeah. Yep. Yes. We're all on the same page. He went to every one of her performances in Aladdin. He even learned piano and the songs that she sung so he could try to impress her. But she's not interested. And he took that to mean, I'm not interested yet. And so, Mr. Burke, I am not going to hold your hand when I say this, but maybe just leave her the fuck alone. He carries a torch for this poor girl for the rest of his days. Okay. That is an important thing to note. A lot of the things, him just signing up for this expedition and wanting to like go from being a policeman to leading a difficult expedition, a lot of it was, I want Julia to be impressed. Even if he wasn't explicitly saying it, like people were like, oh yeah, he wanted to impress Julia when he got back.
It makes sense. Mate. Sometimes you just gotta you gotta give up the fight.
Leave her alone. Leave her alone.
Sometimes you just have to understand that it's an unrequited love. And like, listen.
No means no.
No means no, first and foremost.
First of all.
Listen, I understand what it's like to be in love with someone who will never know you exist. Aragorn, son of Arathorn. And
I preemptively drank for that one. Fiction.
Yes,
you said that in such an earnest way. I was like, oh, who's she talking about? And you're like, Aragorn. And I was like, okay. Okay, yep.
I'm trying to think actually if I've ever been in love with some, like, I mean, no.
I mean, it's fine.
It's probably... No, like, I don't know. I move on quick. I don't know how to say it to you. Like, I've got better things to do than be mooning after someone who doesn't put me first. That's it. That's all I have to say to you. Like,
there you go.
Like, I'm not trying to, like, toot my own horn here. But,
pretty cool.
Like, I just don't have time for that nonsense. I've got turtles to save. And cats to collect.
You're like, I'm a mom of 27 different animals, you know? Like
pretty much. Like, at this point, like, you're either in or you're out.
A mom of 27. You gotta, you know, I know what I want.
Yeah, it's either like you are gonna fulfill me in the ways I need you to, or I'm like, listen, this isn't working. You're gonna have to get the fuck out of my kitchen. Sometimes we need to understand when a love is unrequited. And we need to move on because no means no, first of all. And then also, like, I'm not going to tell you there's more fish in the sea. I'm just going to tell you there's more life than just mooning after someone who you're just going to waste your time. The stress. You don't need the wrinkles. It's not worth it.
This comes out, Valentine's Day is the next day. Everybody, there's Katie's love advice for you. That's it. She goes, don't dim your light for anyone else. Kind of like, don't.
Absolutely.
No. Katie's like, you don't need that.
Oh, man, I almost did it. I almost said I'll die on that hill. I was like, oh.
Yeah, there you go. So there's your built-in Valentine's Day advice, folks. It's good. Second, We have the other title name of the expedition. We have William John Wills, the young English surveyor, astronomer, and meteorologist who was recommended to Burke by the Royal Society. They're like, hey, this young chap, he's 27, I believe. This young chap, he's great. He's super smart. He's going to be able to help you with navigating. Take him on if you choose. And Burke's like, yes. And thank goodness Burke's like, yeah, that's fine. Approved. Burke doesn't have a damn clue about navigation or survival.
Because he doesn't know what he's doing.
Anything,
he needs
really.
the astronomer and like all that.
Mm-hmm. So as it starts, Wills will be the third in command. So even though his name's on the expedition, he's starting out third in command. 2 more officers were appointed, both German. You ready for this one, folks? Dr. Hermann Beckler became the scientific observer's botany, botanical observer. And here we go, Dr. Ludwig Becker. Becker and Beckler, both the German scientists. What? Yeah, Beckler and Becker. I'm just going to call them Becks. That's like they're going to be their team name, the Becks.
Oh, yeah. They're like, I was going to say they're like Mary and Pippin,
Muppets.
but maybe I should say like
Beaker and,
yeah.
you know.
Yeah, the Becks. They're like a thing. Yeah.
Yeah, that's their couple's name. Becks. Becker, Ludwig Becker, was appointed as artist, naturalist, and geographer. So we have a botanical observer, and then we have the artist, naturalist, geographer. Boop, boop, boop. The rest of the slots of the total 19 were assistants to cook. They kept store, blacksmith, foreman, all these sorts of things. The expedition consisted of 6 Irishmen, 5 Englishmen, 1 American, 3 Germans, and 4 Indians. There is our expedition.
So people who know a lot about the interior of Australia, it sounds like.
Yeah. Thankfully, they're going to have, like, spoiler, they're going to have some indigenous help along the way. But, like, yeah, you're right.
They're going to need it.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. So there they go. Off they go. Off they go with all this spectacle. One person I do want you to keep in your back pocket, one of the Irishmen, is John King. Now, he's going to be a background character for a while, so just put a little pin in him, like, put him up on your little cork board. Because later he's just going to be the MVP of this whole thing. So we're going to just put him up there. But he's in the background, just hanging out. John King, one of our Irishmen.
The Irishmen coming in clutch.
Yeah. August 20, 1860, the Burke expedition sets forth from Melbourne with much fanfare and much stuff. Much stuff. Weighing upwards of like 20 tons. Much stuff. That's a lot of shit. And it's the largest and most expensive expedition in Australia's history. We've got huge stores of food to last 2 years. We've got drink. We've got supplies, clothing, equipment, etc. We've got an oak table and chairs, 50 gallons of rum, because the fucking camels need it, you guys. Don't be getting drunk on this trip. And a Chinese gong. Because why the fuck not?
Is the rum actually for the camels? Like, you're being serious when you say that?
I'm being serious. Yeah, that was legitimately what it was brought on for. Because Landel's, who I'm going to be talking about here in a second, he's the second in command. And his whole thought process with it was the rum would help keep the camels warm and also help prevent scurvy. I don't know if any of that's true, to be honest. The worm part, yeah.
I was going to say, does rum stop scurvy? Because suddenly Pirates of the Caribbean makes a lot of sense to me now.
Right? I feel like I want to learn something like that. Like, why rum? But yeah, but that was who it was for. Originally, I mean, people were stealing little nips off of it.
There's
no
way nobody dipped into the rum stores. Come on.
I mean, seriously. But it was for the camels. So George Landel's got second in command. He takes the order to get the camels. He comes back with them. But he wanted to keep the camels as fresh as they could. He's like, I don't want them to carry much of anything at all. I want to keep them as fresh as we can for as long as we can. We're going to need extra wagons to help carry all the shit. So they have to, like,
who's going to pull the wagon?
The various, like, assistants, because there's 19 people on this whole trip. So some of them were, like, driving the wagons, and, like, people were...
Like, the humans were pulling the wagons, you mean to tell me?
Horses. So they had camels and horses.
Oh, they did have horses. Okay. That makes a little bit more sense. I was like,
Sorry, 24 camels and then however many horses. I don't know. But yeah, plenty of horses were brought to pull the wagons, and then yeah, they just took the wagon and just put it on their back and just.
I was like, what? If you're not going to use the camels, who's going to carry it? Like, I was so confused. Are they going to give the
Sorry.
horses rum too? Because I mean,
Water, I guess.
I have so
I
many
think
questions. I'm just going to shut up and let you tell the story.
okay, yeah. I mean, pop in if you need to. If something doesn't make sense at all, but or if you've got questions for sure. Because I'm sure if you have the questions, somebody else will. You know, there's no dumb questions here. Yeah.
Thank you, Bob Ross.
Yeah. So they get these additional wagons, right? 3 additional ones. They pay for it. They put more shit on it. But guess what happens? It rains. Everything turns to mud. So the camels were like, the fuck is this? Wagons were left behind so they could make their own way because they were getting stuck in the mud. And the horses were like, also, the fuck is this? And they're like, right, let's just all catch up and meet up again at the town of Swan Hill. And when they do so, they're 20 days out from Melbourne. They're down 5 men, 4 fired. One was, one was Indian. So he was like, oh, all you have to eat is beef, right? It's like he's Hindu. And so they're like, oh,
correct. They
well,
don't eat the cow. The cow is holy.
Yeah, they're like, here's some bread. And so he was like, after a couple of days, he's like, I'm not going to make it. So he left, but they're already down 5 men.
Go. Do you
He
just
went
walk
back down to Melbourne. I guess, yeah. I mean, they might like send you with a horse or something, maybe, but
Okay.
yeah. So they're only up as far as
Alrighty.
Swan Hill. So if like you need to look at the map, Swan Hill, I'll put it up if you're listening. They're 20 days out from Melbourne at Swan Hill. Now, Burke then hires 4 more people, including Charlie Gray, who's a sailor. Not that important, but you're going to hear his name later. After leaving Swan Hill and heading towards the Darling River, or going north, the team have now gone from that black soil and mud to desert and sand and scrub and all that kind of stuff. Once again, not easy for the wagons because it's moving through sand and there's bracken on the ground. And they also just have too much stuff, so it's taking forever. Also, Burke is worried about so long. Like, Burke's worried about the expense of like all of it, basically. These wagons, these 3 extra wagons are, well, one, costing them time, but also costing them money. And he's like, I don't know if I'm going to be able to pay these men for as long as we're going to be on this trip. So he starts to try to dismiss people and lighten the load a little bit. He lets 3 men go, the American, Ferguson, and 2 others. Also, to lighten the load, like physical load, Burke announced that every man was only allowed to carry up to 30 pounds of personal equipment. That's 13 kilograms for our international listeners. And then he also said that everybody has to walk the rest of the way to the Gulf, quote, inch by inch. On top of that, Burke also told then the German scientist, the Beckler and Becker, quote, now, gentlemen, from this time, you have to give up your scientific investigations, but to work like the rest of the men, as long as you are on the road or not free from camp duties. At the same time, you have to limit your materials and other things required for your investigating. The scientists were like, I beg your finest pardon? Like, that's the reason why we're on this trip is for scientific investigations. Like, well, what do you mean we're going to be limited to 30 pounds or 13 kilograms for our international listeners? Right? George Landells is pissed. He's like, again, second in command guy right now. He starts arguing with Burke about the mismanagement of the camels. He's like, the rum's for the camels. The boys have been then taking nips off of it. And like the camels are the ones that need it, and they're getting drunk too. And no, I'm not swimming these animals across the river. We have to punt them across. What do you mean, no, we can't do it? I quit.
Sorry. What?
Mm-hmm. Yeah. He's like, we need to put them on like a little thing to punt them across, like a little like bloop, 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 like a little boat to go
like
across.
Like a little skiff? Like a little skiff, basically? Yeah. Okay.
And Burke's like, no, we're not doing that. We're going to swim them across.
You said punt, and I thought kick.
Oh, yeah, punt, like punt, like a little thing at the little
Didn't
stick.
know that that's what that little. Gotcha.
Yeah,
all right.
We're gonna punt
board.
them across.
I was like,
not like pick them up and like kick them.
I was like, good luck. Go kick a camel. Fun fact, camels can kick in all directions, you guys. So there's nowhere you can stand next to a camel that they can't kick you.
Yuck. Yeah, I quit, says George Landells. John Wills now becomes second in command, and just to add a little heat to their heels, the expedition has now become a bit of a race against another explorer, John McDowell. McDowell or McDowell? Douall. McDowell?
McDowell, I think.
Right?
Duel. Yeah.
Stewart. He's probably Scottish, right? You know what I mean? Like McDowell,
Yes, probably.
Stewart.
It's a good bet.
Yeah. So this guy, he's also been like frequently trying to get from one coast to the other coast. He is back in Adelaide after his third failed attempt, and he's gonna rest and recoup, and he's gonna get back out there for his fourth. You can't keep Mr. McDowell Stewart down. You can't. He's like, I'm gonna go back out there again. So Burke knows this. Like everyone knows this guy's gonna be on his way at some point. So it just adds just a little bit. Like we want to be first. We want to get the prize money. We want to get the glory and accolades. Also,
And
I
what
need
was their
Julia to
whole-
like me.
That too. Yes, unrequited love. What was the whole goal of it again?
So the goals,
Cool.
you're right. I didn't really say the goals varied. For the most part, it was like, hey, let's just see what it's like between this point and explore this area and see maybe there's new landscapes and things that we've never seen before. Maybe there's an inland sea or a new water source. We need to go in there and check it out. What about like different flora and fauna? Like that's cool. We need to go look that up. So there's a bunch of various things. Like everyone kind of had a couple different reasons and goals.
So, like, why would you not just ask a local?
Girl, they don't want to do that. Why? Why would you?
Like,
why would you do that when you are
I
a
don't mean to be
colonizing
an
power?
asshat, but okay.
I
was just
understand
gonna say
what
it'd be
you're
a lot
saying.
easier.
I agree
and
with
you'll
what
just
you're
save
saying.
a lot of time and a lot
Yeah.
of effort and probably some death. I'm guessing death is coming.
Well,
It comes for us all.
it does. Death comes for us all. So, so Stuart's going to be back out at any point. They're all like, let's get a move on. Let's lighten our loads. Let's move forward. Because this is all within just the first couple of months of the journey. It's slow going. People are coming and going, fired or getting hired back on. Supplies are being ditched. It's not exactly smooth trekking as it is. We got mud and soil and then sand, and then sometimes the roads are really bad. But now's the part where we start to get in a bit of a pickle. Oh, well, hello there. It's Laurel, your big sister and expedition leader. Don't worry. We've got rum and a gong and camels and a better sense of direction. You know what? We are at the midway point. We're further along in our journey than poor Burke and Wills are, I'll say that much. And we're so happy to have you here in the smoke circle with us. Welcome back to season 7. Katie and I were talking about how we are going into our 5th year doing High Tales of History. And we've had some name changes and some logo changes and some format changes. But the one constant is that we love doing history here with you. And my goodness, we're so glad that you're here and that you keep coming back. And we really appreciate it. So, while we're all here together, taking a little rest on our trail north to the Gulf of Carpentaria, we'd like to invite you to follow us on the social media. That's on Instagram at High Tales of History and on TikTok at High Tales of History Pod. And if you're really loving what you're hearing, if you're like, hey, this show's pretty cool, and maybe you're new here and you haven't subscribed yet, make sure that you hit that subscribe or follow button. And if you've listened to a few episodes and you really like what's going on, please make sure that you rate and review our show. Or if you're watching on YouTube, leave a comment, share the video, things like that. These are all things that really help our little tiny history show grow and get in the eyes and ears of more history lovers like yourself, and we would be immensely grateful. It's a really great, free and easy way to help support our show, and it means more than what you might even realize. It really helps those, algorithms and all that sort of stuff to push our show out to more people. If you really, really like what we're doing, we would also invite you to join the Best Buds Club, like Jake and Kristen did earlier this month. That is our Patreon, so it's patreon.com/High Tales of History. And over there we have
historical movie nights on the couch. We have some cooking videos. We have our half-baked episodes, which are our little mini episodes that we do. And over there, we have a great time. You get to hang out with us a little bit closer. You get more content, the things that you love, really. And we'd love to see you over there. You can join for free, or if you'd like to monetarily support our show, thank you so much. You can do so for the price of like a fancy coffee a month. And we are eternally grateful for your support in any way that you choose. So thank you, thank you, thank you. All right, so I said that we're going to start getting more into a pickle with our expedition. So I'm not going to leave you hanging. I'm not going to leave Burke and Wills and his guys hanging. So with that, let's puff pass it on to part 2.
The town of Menindee was a little shanty town that is described as like edge of civilization of the River Darling. Basically end of like colonized, established lines basically in districts right here. It took the Burke expedition 2 months to get to this point in Menindee. For reference, it takes the mail coach 2 weeks. Just for reference. That's how slowed up they were. The wagons, the hiring of these extra wagons that were deemed necessary so the camels didn't have to carry anything. And then they're also like a huge financial burden as well. Now, here's the kicker. One of the expedition committee members of the Royal Society offered to have a bunch of the supplies taken by boat to the junction of the Darling and Murray Rivers. He's like, I'll take them up there on my boat. So then that way you don't have to carry so much. You'll have fresh supplies there. Like, let me do that.
What an idea.
What an idea, right?
Incredible.
Now, this captain was turned down because Burke found out that he hadn't voted for Burke as the leader. And so Burke was like, no, because my ego says no. It would have been helpful.
God.
No, you didn't vote for me. Nope.
Man.
Mm-hmm.
To say, like, the longer I live in life, the less time I have for fragile egos of leaders, self-proclaimed leaders. I have to tell you, they are a drag. They are about like the worst of the worst, possibly. Right? Next to. Yeah. That was it. I just want to chime in. Anyway, continue painting this grand Australian tale.
Okay, boom, picture it, grand Australian tale. On top of that, we got more financial burdens, and that's that Burke has been leaving a trail of bad checks where he goes. Because, like, the party's running out of money, the committee's running out of money, and they're not sure if the men's wages are going to go through even. Which causes some grumblings.
Like pudding.
Yeah. People that had been dismissed, like the American Ferguson, right? He's got his own account in this book I read. Oh, by the way, for my sources, I used a book by Peter FitzSimons, the Burke and Wills Expedition, as well as the Dave Phoenix's website, burkeandwills.net, which it looks like it's one of those like website blog things from the 90s in terms of how it looks. It's got so much wonderful information there. And like first, what are those called? Primary sources and stuff. And then I have a couple of articles from The Guardian and the National Australia Museum. So Ferguson's got this whole account where he's like going from town to town as he goes south, trying to get his check cashed. And places were either like, I don't know about that check. Or they're saying like, no, we can't take this because it's bouncing.
Because we know it's not good.
Yeah.
I would be too.
So that's its own little side plot, right? Right. You would be, right?
Are you going to address the side plot at like the end?
No, I don't care enough.
Oh, damn.
I mean, but he does. Well, I suppose he does. He goes to court and goes through a lot of litigation. He finally gets his money in the end, and then like so. Okay. But not before he was like, I'm going to let you all know about it. He went to everyone.
Shit. Okay.
Yeah. He's like, let me tell you. Americans and their mouths.
Yeah, I was going to say, sounds American. You said it, not me.
So here we go. Gotta get on track here. At this moment in Menindee, Burke had only 2 of his original officers and 6 of his original men. He employed 8 while on the road and dismissed 15 of them. So it's like a whole like numbers. You're like up and then down and then. you don't need to know the total number, but just know that like a lot of people have come and gone in these first few months. It took 2 months to get to Menindee from Melbourne, and summer's coming. No. He decides to split the party, and he takes 7 more of his fittest men and his fittest animals, and only the amount of supplies needed for said men and said animals, onward to Cooper's Creek to set up a depot, and then have the rest of the men catch up. Okay, so to recap, everyone, since this was the part where I got a little confused, I had to like read this several times, because once you start splitting the party and they start going different directions, you're like, wait, who's with who? Okay. Menindee, if you want to look at your map, I'll put it up here. Most of the supplies and equipment get left here. So the 7 of Burke's party could get ahead faster and establish a depot in Cooper's Creek a little ways up north. So part of the party gets left behind. And then there's Burke and Wills as their traveling group. They're going to go up north to Cooper's Creek.
They're
So I'm gonna
not very far.
No.
Oh my God.
Yeah. So in this traveling group, the one that's departing, we have Burke Wills, the second command, a newly appointed third in command, William Wright, our Irish boy, 21-year-old John King. Let's take him off the cork board. Boop, let's put him in the tail. Turns out he was in the British Army in India when George Landels came to get the camels. And I'm not sure exactly how this happened, but King was basically like, yeah, girl, sure, I'll go. That sounds like fun. And travels back with George Landels with the camels and then joins the expedition that way.
That's like one of the most like Brendan Fraser 90s mummy plot I've ever heard.
Right.
Right? Like,
yeah. It's like, I mean, I'm assuming he might have been like done with the army. It was like, I'm looking for something to do now. I don't know. But he was like, that's where that's why he was in India.
It's like the most adventure movie beginning ever.
Yeah.
It's like, I'm retired. I have nothing to do. And like, it goes on, a grand misadventure.
21. I'll go to Australia with your camels. Sure.
Right?
That sounds fun.
Say less.
Yeah. So now King knows nothing about camels, but technically he's been with these camels longer than anybody else in the expedition has now at this point, because he rode over with them on the boat. So he takes over as like the camel master, basically.
Camel handler.
And he also speaks the language of the sepoys, so the Indian men that came with. So he's like, I can be the communicator as well, too. Awesome. Thanks, King. Great work. Now, for the record, this is just my little aside, King and Wills, I think, are like the real loyal, hardworking, ride or die homies in this expedition. They seem like solid dudes. Okay. So for those 4, right? So we got those 4 guys, Burke, Wills, Wright, and King. And then we are adding a Pakenji man named Dick Barkinji, sailor Charlie Gray from Swan Hill, we mentioned earlier, and then 2 others. There we go. So those are our 8.
I should have taken notes.
I just try to keep this as like straightforward as possible. Like, let me know when you have questions.
You're laying it out. You're doing
good?
it.
Okay.
Yeah.
Are you with me so far?
You're doing good. I just have to sit back and like take a second. Keep in mind, like, as inebriation kicks in, it takes me a little bit longer. Yeah. And I'm just making sure I'm like visualizing this person and what their job was and putting them there so that I can like follow along with you.
Yeah. Yeah. This is the part where I got confused. That's why I spent a lot of time like trying to be like, okay, God, I hope I got this right. So on their way, this is a traveling group, on their way up to Cooper's Creek, they're camping along the way, at night here or there. They're held by local indigenous peoples from the nearby mobs, which is the word for tribes here. They were all friendly, but they did warn the party, hey, further north you go, you might run into some other mobs that are like, they're not going to be as cool with you guys as we are, just as a warning kind of thing. Like you might have a little trouble and it might be a little bit less friendlier the more north you go. Just let you know.
Why.
At one of their stops en route, Burke asked Wright to go back to Menindee and get the rest of the men and some more supplies. And so off Wright goes. Okay, so now we have 3 parties, sort of, right? Like we have Wright on his own, and then we have the traveling party, and then we have the guys down in Menindee still.
Right, chilling.
chilling.
So their
Right?
job is just to stay there?
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
And
He's like,
okay.
hang out, hang out. I'm going to send Wright back for you at some point.
Okay.
Goes down. So Wright goes back to the guys waiting back in Menindee, and then the rest of the Burke group keep traveling north.
All right. I'm
Burke's
actually following with you. It's okay.
So Burke's group, they set up their depot. They call it Camp 65 at Cooper's Creek. They stay for 10 days waiting for Wright to come back, whom it was assumed that he would be there any day now. But Burke starts getting a little restless. Again, they're like, we want to be the first to the Gulf of Carpentaria. He decides to split the party again. Now, it wasn't such a big deal to, like, I mean, he shouldn't have split the party the first time, but at least, like they had someone that could go back and forth. It's like, okay, you know, and they're going to meet back up with us again. But when he splits the party again, this is where it's the big problem. He tells William Braw, who he's now put in command of, like, what we're going to call the Camp 65 party or the depot party. And he says, so there's 4 guys there. And he says, you stay at the depot with these 3 other guys. I want you to wait for 3 months before you assume that things have gone bad and return. Okay. So wait for us for 3 months. And Wills, it's like, I imagine Burke walking out of the frame, bloop, and then Wills comes up behind him and goes, I've actually looked at the map, and based on how long this has already taken us, please wait for us for 4 on the side. Just
thought. I was like, I feel like 3 months is a very quick estimate of what has already taken them longer
since
than
it's already been 2 months just to get to where they are.
Yeah.
He's like, give it 4, please. Like, wait for 4, not 3. And Braw's like, gotcha. Okay. The Gulf party, as I'm going to call it. So this is Burke's party. Burke, Wills, King, and Gray. Burke's Will, King, and then Gray is the sailor. They're the ones that are going to make the dash to the coast. They're like, we're going to be the ones that go out to get to the other coast. Boom, here we go. The journey starts okay. It's better than they expected, but then they encounter the mountain ranges. And then we start getting several journal entries talking about how difficult it was. You can see these guys are starting to run into some trouble. Plus, it's summer, which means that it's 122 degrees in freedom units or 50 degrees Celsius in the fucking shade.
Yeah. I was going to say, I don't think people
No.
fathom how hot Australian is. Daniel actually just told me
How
that
hot Australians are? Or
Huh?
Australia? Did you say Australians or Australia? Did you have a Freudian slip?
No, I said
No, okay.
Australia. But sure,
Sorry.
all of the above.
like,
I'm not going to
okay.
take anything away from the Aussies, please. Daniel told me that they have to shut down. It gets so hot because the railways warp.
Oof. And he's
I
from
was like,
Melbourne as well, too.
He is.
Mhm.
How fucking hot does it have to be for metal railways to
No.
warp? That's how fucking hot Australia is.
No, that's
I
too
definitely
hot.
said Australia, but like, I'm glad you brought it up because I am going to definitely, all of the above.
Yeah, all of them. There you go, Australia. Hot Australia. You take that, put that in your pocket. Carry that with you.
There you go.
Happy Valentine's Day.
From me to you.
After a while, though, the entries began to show that they were close to the sea. Wills is like, this water that we're near is tidal. You can watch it go up several inches and down. It's also salty. The sea must be nearby. And they get to like, we see the Gulf. There it is. But they couldn't get to it because I guess the mangroves were so thick and so impenetrable that whatever they did to try to get through was just not working. And at a certain point, they're like, we have to give up trying to reach the literal water and turn back. How anticlimactic is that? It's taken 2 months to reach the northern shore just from Cooper Creek. And then they have used also 2/3 of their rations. And they're like, I can't get to the coast. What?
Side of Australia has shit tons of crocodiles too.
Oh, no, thank you.
Well,
Well, yeah, the mangroves. That makes sense.
Mangroves,
Yeah.
dude.
Mhm.
Yeah, like the biggest crocodiles in the world grow in like the mangroves of the Philippines. Those like 20 feet plusers. Sorry, huge, like a 24-foot long salty.
Mm-mm.
That's a big. I mean, I love dinosaurs, but that is literally a dinosaur. Like that
Yeah.
thing is huge. So like, I can only imagine when you said mangroves, I was like, yeah, I wouldn't go in there. I don't know about you. I value all of my limbs and the rest of the things attached to it. Anticlimactic, yes, but I mean, there's a reason that there's a stereotypical joke about things trying to kill you in Australia, because there's shit that will wreck your fucking day and life. What?
Wreck it and end it. End it and wreck it. I think that's their motto. Or wreck it and end it.
Yeah, it's how they take
end
down
it and wreck
every
it feels
beer.
better. Yeah. Anyway, we'll kill you first before we wreck you. It's just that's how bad it's going to be. Yeah. No, I'm surprised that there weren't reports about alligators then. I mean, or they didn't. Right? You'd think they would have lost their minds if they saw one. Crocodiles. Yeah. Sorry, everybody. Nope.
Katie's
thank
like,
you.
Wrong.
No, thank you. I'd rather get it right.
Yeah.
So they're on their way back to Cooper's Creek. They're not doing amazing. They're malnourished. They're having to conserve their rations. Monsoon season, so everything's wet and mosquitoes and a downpour, right? The camels are like, fuck this. They start to give up. The ones who do and are no longer able to be used for transportation anymore are then shot and used for food. Yeah.
Yep.
They're basically eating whatever they can, from whatever plants that they can to a python. Charlie Gray caught a python. Yep. Like they're like, we have
Pythons
to just
are good eating, actually.
Mm-hmm. They said it was really good.
Yeah.
That and any horse that they had to eat. They're like, at least that was.
I mean, you have to survive.
Gotta survive.
Yeah. Snakes are white meat, so there's that at least.
There's that. They when they start having to like kind of go outside their rations though, like especially upon the killing of the python, Burke and Charlie Gray almost immediately get dysentery.
Oh.
Everyone's
it's like the
malnourished.
Oregon Trail up in here, but this is the Australian Trail.
The Australian Trail. And yeah, so like if you're already malnourished and then you have dysentery, like your body just depletes you faster.
You're gonna
right?
die.
Mm-hmm.
We've all played the Oregon Trail.
We know this is how you die.
You don't make it. You pull that card, you're fucked.
You're fucked. Now, Charlie Gray, the sailor, he is especially not doing great in this situation out of the four of them. And because he's further along in his sickness than the other three are like, man, why can't he walk? Why can't he just like handle his shit? Like, what's going on? Like, he must be faking. And for a while they were just like, get up, move on. Like, you wait. Like, yeah, you're faking. It gets to the point where Gray can't walk any longer. And they're like, oh, about that faking it. We're so sorry. Like, because then Gray dies within like that day or two.
I was going to say with how hot, I mean, I don't know how hot monsoon season is. I know that Australia gets like hotter than anywhere else on Earth, but to like be running out of water, and so you're sick when you're dehydrated, you're super sick, right? That's the danger of dysentery, is actually dehydration. Mm-hmm. And in the heat, how fast you would have maybe like 5 to 7 days, like you would be dead so fast.
Yeah, I was wondering, not doing good.
Yeah, when there was going to be a body count.
Yeah. Now, Gray, before he dies, again, this is during the time that they think that he's faking. Wills does find that Gray was sneaking food. It's like sneaking like this porridge stuff that they would eat. And then on top of it, he's like, there's some other stores that have been, some of our rations are less than they should be. Like, he must be taking food and taking, rations and supplies. This is a point of contention here, and is something that still gets talked about. So when Burke finds out about this, he hits Gray. Now, the point of contention is that some people are like, he just gave him a few fresh skippity paps, pop, 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 in the head. Like, knock it off. Don't steal. Some people were like, oh, because Gray died, within like a day or two after, Burke must have beat him so hard he killed him. Now, that's not true. Okay. But the range at which this beating, this discipline here happened. So King would always maintain that Burke gave him just a few open-handed slaps, pop, 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 and let him have it verbally, but didn't actually like beat him down.
Like closed fist strike him.
Right. Yeah. So there is it's pretty widely discounted now at this point, but I think sometimes you'll still kind of dig into this expedition and people are like, yeah, the leader killed the guy. Now that's not necessarily true, but that's where that comes in. People think that he beat the shit out of Gray. No, Gray died of dysentery. And
He pulled the
they're
wrong
like,
card.
yeah, they're like, sorry, you were not faking. Sorry about that. They buried him. They moved on. They finally reached the depot at Cooper's Creek a few days later, only to find that Bra and company had just left.
To go
As
find them.
well, to go back south. Their fire was
Okay.
still smoldering. It's like 9 hours difference. Woof.
I
Now,
mean,
Burke
did they need
Wills,
them?
well, they're not doing good. And so they're like, "Hey, let's get our party back together again, like join
So Cooper's
forces."
Creek isn't like a small village by any means.
It is. It's
Okay.
just a depot. They just set up their own like little
So
storage
it's like a
spot.
train stop. Okay.
Not even. I mean, like
Oh,
a
okay.
depot is in like a place to like bury their supplies. There's no like,
Shit.
there's
Okay.
nobody there really. They've just set
Okay,
up their
that
own
makes sense.
civilization.
Now I get it. I was like,
Mhm.
I don't see the problem.
Yeah. Yes. Menindee is a town. Menindee, where like the other part of the party is, but like Cooper's Creek is not. Cooper's Creek is just like an area that I think it's
Stoppage
a town
point.
today now, but yeah, it
Well,
was.
sure, now, but not at
Mhm.
1858.
I don't know.
Is that when
Yeah.
you said this is? Yeah.
Yeah, 1860 and 61. Okay.
Okay.
So there we go. Let's go see what's going on with this depot party, the ones that just left. So if you remember, Burke asked them to stay for 3 months. Wills was like, "Hey, make that 4." Now, Bra and company, that's what I'm going to call them, the depot party, they actually stayed for 18 weeks, which is about 4.5 to 5 months.
Wow, yeah.
So they actually
Okay.
stayed longer than even Wills asked them to. But at that point, they're getting scurvy. Their supplies are running
Yeah.
low. They're like, we've got to get the fuck out. And then also remember how I said, if you go north of here, some of the other local mobs might not be as friendly as us, kind of thing. So this is the first part in the story where we're getting accounts where they're not getting helped by the indigenous people. There's like suspicions on both sides. And it kind of gets to this like head of tensions. And everyone's kind of got like their own like little story within this. From the journals and the accounts that I was reading in the book by FitzSimons, it seemed like everyone was trying to be cool and calm, like, but were suspicious of the other, group of people.
And they don't like each other, yeah.
Yeah. And so it's like, well, are they trying to steal our stuff? And they're like, what are these people doing here? Like, this is our land. Like there's a lot of like some suspicion back and forth. And
especially when you set up and stay there. Moving through is one thing, but to like stay.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And that's the thing. They're like set up there at a camp. And it kind of
Almost
gets
half
to
a
this.
year.
Yeah. And it kind of gets to this boiling point where then like things were being taken as aggressive for the other side. So it gets to this like boiling point here. That there was a skirmish between the two sides with the possibility of one Aboriginal man being killed. He was certainly
Yikes.
shot. They just don't know if he was killed. But I
If
mean,
he's
I'm
succumbed to
assuming so.
injuries or
Right?
not,
I'm
yeah.
assuming so.
I mean, it depends on where you get shot, but yeah.
Before leaving, though, Bra's like, all right, we got to get out. I'm going to put provisions under a tree that we're going to blaze and mark it up. And then we're going to write dig in there. So they know to dig at the base of this tree. And here are some supplies.
So they left
Godspeed.
a care package.
Yeah. Nice.
They did what
Good
they're
stuff.
supposed to. They've honored their end of the agreement.
Yeah, they stayed longer
we're all
and
men
like
of
left
our word,
provisions.
love.
Right. Love.
Yeah.
So he leaves a note. Bra leaves a note. Depot, Cooper's Creek, April 21st, 1861. The depot party of VEE, Victoria Exploration Expedition or whatever, leaves this camp today to return to the Darling. I intend to go southeast from Camp 60 to get onto our old track near Baloo. 2 of my companions and myself are quite well. The third, Patton, has been unable to walk for the last 18 days, as his leg has been severely hurt when thrown by one of the horses. No person has been up here from the Darling. We have 6 camels, 12 horses in good working condition. William Bra. When Burke and Wills, like their company, reads this note, they're like, oh, great, April 21st. That was this morning. Like they just left today.
Off.
Can we catch up? And they were in such a bad way. They're like, there's no way we'll be rested enough to catch up. Like if they're ahead by, anywhere from like 5 to 10 hours, right? They didn't know.
Right.
It's estimated that it was 9 hours.
And they can't keep up with them either. The speed, like being unhealthy, like they're not going to keep up.
Mm-hmm. All right, folks. So currently we have 3 separate parties. So you have Burke's party. They're at Cooper's Creek now. They're at the Dig Tree, as we're going to call it. Bra and the Depot party. They're traveling back out. And then we have Wright, who is back in Menindee. Because remember, Burke sent Wright on his own to go back to Menindee and get more supplies and men and stuff like that. And Wright's just like hanging out there. Because the groups are all separated and shit's just going kind of like minor things are going wrong almost all the time, to spare you all the details to sort through, just kind of imagine that each group is having their own bad time. Whether it's like malnourishment, or we're hungry, or we're running low on water, or it's too hot, or the roads are bad, or things are taking too long, or whatever it might be, things are going wrong.
Yeah, cut to a whole montage of just trouble across all of them.
Yeah.
Like some shitty comedy.
People are coming and going, scouting and foraging. They're having their own individual encounters or group encounters with indigenous peoples there. So there's a lot of different things going on in all these groups. And most of these encounters that they're having are overwhelmingly positive. Like a lot of the times that they're there helping the expedition party with food or supplies in some way. But just imagine all these things are going on, right? So now we're going to go over to Wright and his Menindee party. Boop. Go to Menindee. First of all, right, why the fuck is it taking you so many months to get going, man? What's going on? Now, this is the big question after the expedition. So Wright's been sent, and he's
sent when they left. So he's been there for almost 4.5 months.
Just about, yeah.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. Good job, Katie. Yeah, it's about that long.
I really don't give off the impression of intelligence, but I'm sharper than what some might assume.
You had a good timeline. You had a good timeline going here.
I'm with you.
So, they're like, if he left earlier, would we have a different outcome? Would more people be alive? What's going on? Now, I will say, just partially to his credit, he was sent back to Menindee to then not only gather the men and supplies, but also more funds from from the expedition party, right? Or the committee from the Royal Society. We need more funds. We need money. So he has to wait for the money, but even then when he gets the money, it still takes him a while. He's hanging out with his family. He sends his family down to Adelaide on the steamboat. Now he is a local guy. He's from Menindee, but still it's what's going on? So not only they left late, but it's really slow.
He knew everyone was going to die.
It's so slow. It's summer.
Yeah.
The roads are bad, and he can barely find where the paths even are. The animals aren't great. The people aren't great. During this time, Wright loses 3 men, including one of our German scientists, Dr. Ludwig Becker.
No, the Becks are broke up. Don't say it.
The Becks are broke up, man. Whose whole job on the expedition was to paint new landscapes and collect species to learn about. But that same day that Dr. Becker dies, Bra and Wright's parties, they do find each other. They join forces. They're like, we're going to go back to Cooper's Creek. We're going to join up with Burke. Now they get up there. So remember, the Depot party left April 21st. Burke also got there April 21st. And this newly conglomerated party. So now we're back down to 2 parties. It's let's go back and find Burke. Let's go find Burke and Wills.
So Wright met the Coopers division, and they are now one to go find the Bay division.
Yes. Yeah.
Gotcha. Okay.
Yep. Mm-hmm. Yep. They get up there May 8th. So it's just a couple weeks roughly after they had left and Burke got there. But Burke's party of 3 is nowhere to be found. Now, they had actually left after a couple of days because they're like, let's see if we can recoup, and then we'll see if we can catch up. Meanwhile, Burke's company had been very slowly traveling because, again, they're not doing well at all. They're trying to catch up to this group as the other group's going back north again. And again, they're moving so slow that they're not doing well. Now, thankfully, for some time, they survived off the benevolence of the Yaruwanda people who brought them fish and nardu. Even tending to their fire at night so they wouldn't freeze, which is pretty
lucky.
Nice. Mm-hmm.
That was real fucking nice.
Yeah. At the end of May, Burke asks Wills to go back to the Dig Tree, that's at Cooper's Creek, That's where they dig the supplies, dug them underground, left the care package. He's like, Wills, go back to the dig tree. I want you to store some of these things, these journals and stuff for safekeeping there. Cover them up really well. We don't want anyone else to find them. And then come back. Wills is like, great, gotcha. Now, Wills, as he's on his own little side quest, he meets his own other group of Yarrawonda people, and they also help take care of him. Burke, however, this silly bastard, he gets suspicious of the Yarrawonda people that are coming to the camp. They're bringing him nets of fish. He slaps the fish out of their hands. This guy loses his damn mind.
This is Bay Division, right?
This is Bay Division. This is Burke. He is the leader of the expedition.
So sorry, I gave them all their own division names.
Yeah, this is the Gulf Division. It's Burke and King, and then Wills has gone off on his own little side quest to bury stuff at the dig tree and then come back.
So Wills must have not been in that bad a shape. They were fucking dying when they got there. And this motherfucker has the audacity to deny fish when it's brought to you. Yeah. Are you, bitch, I'm high and I wouldn't even in my wildest dreams.
Yeah. So he scares him away. Wills comes back being taken care of, getting some food, doing his little mission of putting stuff under the dig tree. Probably feeling a little bit of hope for the first time, being like, oh my God, we're being helped and we're going to make it. We can make it out of here.
Yeah.
So he comes back to find that Burke has scared away any help that they could have gotten and their one chance at survival. And he's furious. Again, Wills is a very ride or die loyal man, but he has some words for Burke. He's livid. These guys are starving. They're weak. They're malnourished. After a while.
One's already died.
Yeah. So we've got just Burke, Wills, and King in the Gulf group.
Yeah.
One already died. Wills can no longer go on. The three men agree to leave Wills behind and to keep moving on. Within 2 days, Burke can no longer go on. And he just is like, John King, just leave me here so I can die. So King does. He leaves him there, puts his pistol in his hand, and just leaves him. And just sits with them until he dies. When he does, King goes back to where Wills is to find that he has also died. And then he's like, it's just me. And he buries him as best he can. And then it's like, I got to go find the Yarrawonda people because they're my only chance of survival. So we're going to leave King there for a moment. We're going to go back down south to Melbourne to the Royal Society of Victoria, who by now have gotten a variety of reports that are updating them on how far they've gotten and who's died and what funds are needed and who's where and all these different things. And at this point now, they have reports that Burke and his Gulf company have not been seen or heard from. Relief expeditions were gathered and then sent out, and one of them was sent north to Cooper's Creek. While there, they get flagged down by Aboriginals, which we can assume are the Yarrawonda people, and they produce John King. They're like, hey, we've got your boy.
Ta-da!
Ta-da! He's weak as hell, but he's alive, and he's been living with the Yarrawonda people for 3 months now. He's got a wife of sorts. He's got a woman. He's got an elder woman in the camp or in the mob who has adopted him as her third son. Her third son had recently passed away, and she had adopted him as...
He bastard?
Yeah, which I thought was really interesting because Dr. Reed talked about that when he was talking about Native American tribes and
how they will,
very specific adoption process. Yeah. Not oh, this is my son named John King. This is my son named whatever their lost relatives. You are that person. You assume the identity of that person. So he's in. He's in. He's still weak. He's not doing great because he's malnourished, but he's in. He's alive at least. And much to the despair of the Yarrawonda people, Yarrawonda, did I say Yarrawonda? Sorry. Yarrawonda people, the relief party take John King back with them, and they're tore up about it. They're so sad. In total, 5 different relief expeditions.
You just killed the lady's son all over again.
I know. The accounts were that they could hear her wailing and crying.
Yeah.
Until the point where they couldn't hear him anymore.
Have lived. Yeah, for thousands of years.
It's really heartbreaking.
And you just pulled him out of that. Bruh.
I know.
Yeah.
Yeah, it was like really heartbreaking. His like the goodbye. They were like, wow, like, and the journals, right? This is a colonizing power. The journals write about a lot of times, not Wills. Wills wrote like in a much better and like um
Much more third person approach.
yeah, kind of way. It was
Yeah,
really good.
more
His writings were
neutral.
actually really good in comparison, right? But a lot of people were like, wow, they have feelings. You know what I mean? Like there was that kind of like, oh wow, we actually like,
Okay.
oh wow, they must
Sure.
really like John King. They wow, they really like feel deeply. That kind of right, but how touched and surprised everyone was by like the deep love and like the hold that they had, and like he was part of their people, and like as that woman just
Yeah.
crying as he's taken
Like,
away.
he got accepted into the family, dude. You just yanked someone's family member away. Like,
Mhm,
yeah, like
mhm.
that's kind of a big deal. How was King with it?
I think he was just so weak and out of it. He was like, I'm going back with you guys. Okay, sure. John King is the only man to cross the continent, north to south, and back again, and survive at this point. So even though he's in bad shape and he's really weak, he is a huge celebrity. And upon his arrival down south, like everywhere he's at, there's throngs of people. It's overwhelming. It's crushing. He's like, I'm dying practically. Leave me alone. He's not well.
He's the Irishman, right?
Yeah. The one that
Okay.
tended to the camels. But now that everyone's back, there's an inquest. A commission of inquiry was established, which sat in November and December of 1861. And then they came back in the following year, January 1862. And their final report had a few different people that they pointed at here. Burke got some blame for dividing the party at Menindee and the Cooper. They criticized Burke for employing Wright in a position of authority, because Wright does not turn out as a good guy in this one, or like doesn't look like a good guy. They
Mm.
criticized Burke for not keeping a journal or writing down his instructions. He did like most things verbally. And then severely criticized Wright for not leaving Menindee earlier with the stores, stating, the conduct of Mr. Wright appears to have been reprehensible in the highest degree. The report goes on to criticize the Exploration Committee in Melbourne for its inaction and not doing anything fast enough once they suspected that things were not going well. The commission did not blame Bra for leaving the depot, but rather was just like, you waited a long time, you did what you had to do. In retrospect, it sucks that you guys missed each other by the short window that you did, but like, how were you to know, kind of thing. We get it.
Right. Woof.
Woof. In total, 7 members of the expedition died, including the 2 names who were on the marquee of the expedition, Burke and Wills, whose bodies were exhumed from Cooper's Creek and sent back to Melbourne, where Victoria held its first state funeral. It's a public holiday. 60,000 people turned out for the procession. And
Was this that important?
yeah, it was huge. It
Okay.
was huge.
I
Yeah,
guess
people were
so.
like
I was
super
like,
into it. Yeah. Even Julia Matthews, the then at the time 18-year-old singer and actress whom Burke was trying to impress with this whole damn thing to begin with, she sang "Rule Britannia" at the funeral, and for a long time after wore a locket that he had given her with his picture in it, I guess.
Okay.
Yeah, her husband, she did go on and get married. She stayed on the stage and like continued performing. She was great. She was well loved. She married like a stage manager or something who was awful to her.
Oh.
And she divorced him. Like, hell yeah, sister. She got out of there, but then ended up dying. I think she was in her 30s, like her mid to late 30s, she died. I think it was. Yeah. I'm pulling that all out
Yikes.
of my back pocket right there. But yeah,
I
so
believe you.
there's Julia Matthews. Now, the 5 exploration parties that were sent out, some by water, some by land, just those expeditions, like those relief expeditions to like gather supplies and, find bodies and things like that, they helped further expand colonialism for Australia, basically, in the sense of like they then understood where like certain um, territory lines were, like Queensland and New South Wales and Victoria, like that helped kind of solidify those lines on the map. They also then were like, oh, okay, we get a bigger idea of like geographically speaking what this continent looks like. But along with that, it then takes that big step forward in the colonization, the abuse, and the death of the indigenous peoples there on the island. So, you know what I
Saw
mean? So,
that
like, it
coming. Yeah.
advanced the exploration and their understanding of, like, hey, on a map, what does this look like? But then, therefore, further expanded, um, colonial reach. There's a statue. I think as of right now, let me pull it up. I was just going to say, there is a statue. It's been put into storage a few times. I'm not sure if it's back out again. I'll have it written down here at the bottom. If you're watching, I'll put it on screen if I'm correct or not. I don't know if they have it back up again, but there is some controversy around it in the sense of, like, it's a statue for explorers and not for the indigenous people that helped them, or, like, there's not an
It's kind of
acknowledgement.
like, yeah,
Yeah.
like, why are you celebrating it kind of thing?
Yeah,
Like,
kind of like
yeah,
Lewis and
just a
Clark
bit
and, like,
odd.
Sacagawea,
That,
and that kind of thing.
yeah.
Yeah.
The, it, uh, that's why, like, did you hear when I responded to you? I was like, was this that big a deal to all of you? Like, just, I don't know. I was
Yeah.
like, all right then. Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, in the 19th century, anybody who's exploring or, like, doing anything like that, it's like, right, it's that Victorian hubris
Very
and that
around the
sort of,
world in
like,
80
we're
days.
yeah, well,
Yeah.
we're the
Yes.
British Empire, and we, let
Yeah.
us hence go forth, and, that kind of thing.
Mm-hmm.
Manifest
Very
destiny and
much
all that
so.
sort of attitude, at least,
Don't even get me
Right.
started on that.
I think the book that I listened to, Peter FitzSimons' Burke and Wills Expedition, he had, like, a really great epilogue where, like, the legacy of this is really interesting. It should almost be like its own mini episode in terms of, like, where are they now? Ludwig Becker is naturalist in his landscaping things. He did a lot to forward progress in terms of identifying species and flora and fauna species, basically, and his landscapes and stuff, and how, like, beautiful those were, and helped give them a much bigger and greater idea. And, that's, like, they're still looked at and referred to scientifically speaking to this day. One of my favorite little fun facts, how I said earlier, camels aren't native to Australia. They had to, like, get these camels in. And again, the first round of camels were all dead after John Horrocks' right? Those 9 camels he brought in, they
Yeah.
all died. The
Yeah.
last one shot him,
would-
so they shot the camel. Like, it's unfortunate, but, like, yeah. So the camels that exist in Australia today, which has the largest feral camel population in the entire world, have descended from the camels that are part of this expedition and then other expeditions henceforth. And that's why
Really?
Australia's got so many fucking camels that they now export to the Middle East for camel racing. What indeed?
Twist.
What
I
a
didn't
plot
know
twist.
that.
So there you go, Australia. That's how you have your feral camel population that you do, is like these camels were
Some
like, well,
asshole named Burke.
hey, let's get some camels in there. Nice job, Dr. Evelyn. Good call.
That's now the name of this episode. Some asshole named Burke.
So folks, welcome back to season 7, the Burke and Wills Expedition. How'd you feel about that, Katie? Did you have fun on our expedition today?
I mean, I always love a trip down under, but that wasn't precisely what I expected. But it was a shit show from start to finish, so I always appreciate that.
So much happening. There's so much going on there with these guys. Yeah. King being the only surviving member to, like, do the whole thing. So,
Yeah.
But otherwise, seven men died during the expedition.
I'm guessing he left that continent pretty quickly.
No, he lived in Australia for the rest of his life.
Shit. Okay.
Unfortunately, died prematurely of pulmonary tuberculosis in January 1872, only 33 years old.
Oh my. Tuberculosis was kind of big in the 1800s, though, wasn't it?
Tuberculosis is still, what is it? Like, have you heard the thing about, like, how tuberculosis is, like, technically one of, like, the biggest killers in the world or something like
Really?
that? Shoot. I have to make sure I don't run my
I'm
mouth
looking
out
at
something like that.
how bad is tuberculosis today? Remains a major global health crisis, ranking as the world's second most infectious killer after
Okay.
COVID-19 and 13th leading case of overall death. In 2023, over 1.25 million people have died from tuberculosis, and roughly 10 million new cases occur annually. With less common in the U.S.'s, cases are rising. So, like, with over 10,300 reported in 2024 alone, marking a significant increase. Wow. Holy shit. I had no idea tuberculosis was
Right?
actually, like, really still a thing.
Yeah.
Um,
Mm-hmm.
wow.
I
Okay.
remember my dad getting tuberculosis like many years ago.
Really?
And I was like, what? Like, that was such a weird
That's
thing to hear him
weird.
say.
Yeah.
I was like, you have tuberculosis? As
Um,
in, like, Doc Holliday? Like, I was so confused. Like,
yeah.
I mean, he was
You
fine,
know,
thankfully. But, like, yeah.
yeah,
I was
luckily
just
it was
like,
good
what in the
medical
hell?
care. TB, man. No joke.
Hey, take care of yourselves. Get your jabs or whatever. Right? That's the one that's stabby, like the mean stabby one in the shoulder. TB.
I thought that was tetanus. Isn't the
Yeah,
TB the
maybe
one
that
with the
is.
bubble under the skin?
Shoot, I don't know.
I'm pretty sure.
Anyway,
Either way, like get
take care.
get your anti-TB-ness.
Yeah,
Like do
yeah,
that.
do that. Welcome back to season 7. We're so glad you're here with us. We got so much to say. We've got so much to go through. A lot of history to talk about, and a lot, you beautiful folks to do it with. So thank you so much for joining us today. We're gonna be back in a couple of weeks with episode 113. If you're missing us and you're like, oh my gosh, I miss them so much in between the episodes, you can come follow us. Come follow us over on social media. We're on Instagram at High Tales of History. It's at High Tales of History Pod on TikTok. All of the social media stuff's in the show notes. We have the Patreon. It's the Best Buds Club. You can join for free, so you can at least see what's going on over there. There's some free stuff. That's where all of our half-baked episodes are. Those are our mini episodes, movie nights, all these different things. So, like, you can connect with us. You can send us an email like Jake and Kristen did. That was so fun. We love a bit of mail. Leave a
Love
comment. How many different ways do I gotta tell you? Please talk to us. We like that. Does that feel too beggy? Does that feel too like, please?
No, my thought was just like, I hope it's
Please love
positive.
us. Yeah. If you don't have anything nice to say, you can take it and shove it. But as your big sister, shove it up your ass. I'm going to tell mom on you. But yeah, no, reach out. We love it. In the meantime, though, get money, get high, give love, and
Like, don't feed the camels rum. I don't know why that was a thing. And I did a quick Google search on the side, and it was like, you should never give
do
camels
that, probably.
alcohol.
Yeah.
Well, it said that they'll actually be drunk for days because of the way they recycle water. And I was like, bro, dude, I know.
Don't do
I was like,
that.
sitting there. Yeah, so don't give the camels rum. I don't know why that was a suggestion in the first place.
Don't get the camels
But
rum.
yeah.
Don't give camels rum or any
Don't
animal.
give the camels rum.
Don't do it.
Yeah. And never dim your light for anybody. Back to the Valentine's Day advice. Never dim your light for anybody. They're either they can handle that heat in your kitchen or they can get the fuck out.
Or they can get the fuck out. Bye.